Mitch McDear is a hotshot lawyer who joins the law firm Bandini, Lambert & Locke after graduating from Harvard Law School. While he originally enjoys the firm's atmosphere, he later finds out that all is not as it seems. Abby McDear is Mitch's wife and his threshold guardian, as well as one of his most important helpers. As Mitch's mentor, Avery helps his new colleague get settled at the firm and teaches him how to use the law to his advantage. Ray McDear is Mitch McDear's older brother. When the two were kids, Ray used to take care of Mitch after their dad died. However, since Ray got arrested, Mitch sometimes doesn't even admit that he has an older brother. That being said, as soon as Mitch's life gets tough, he immediately goes to see Ray for help. Tammy is one of Mitch's most important helpers. The two team up after Tammy's boyfriend, the private investigator that Mitch hires to help his case against the firm, is killed by the firm's hitman.
Things to keep in mind. Partner is someone who owns part of a law firm and gets a vote on the firm's decisions. An associate is the new member, and PI is short for private investigator.
Mitch's known role is Boston, Massachusetts, where he attends Harvard Law School. At the start of the firm, Mitch has graduated from Harvard with honors and is now looking for a job.
As the fifth in his class, Mitch McDear received many job offers. Originally, he considered taking a job at Wall Street, but then Mitch receives an offer from Bandini, Lambert & Locke that he cannot resist.
Tired of interviews?
No sir, I just quite don't know what to say.
That's unusual for a lawyer.
Oh sir, I can get tongue-tied in a number of situations, but it's usually with my wife.
Might we ask about the rest of your family?
My father was killed in the coal mines, and my mother, she remarried and lives in Florida.
Any brothers and sisters?
No, none.
Mitch, I hope you don't think this intrusive, but stability in a family has special importance to us. Bandini, Lambert, and Locke is just a small Memphis firm, 41 lawyers, but we're a large family, so we're careful. Now, do you have any questions for us?
Do you have an offer in mind?
It includes a low-interest mortgage, and your wife gets to pick the color of the Mercedes. Plus, we added 20% to your highest offer.
Do I open it here?
You can, or you can take our word for it. Since Bandini, Lambert & Locke is based in Memphis, Tennessee, Mitch and his wife Abby would have to move there before Mitch could work there. Since it would also affect Abby's job, Mitch lets his wife have the final say in their decision to move. Because of this, Abby is Mitch's threshold guardian.
Mushu, pork, and Szechuan beef, all from the Wong boys.
What's going on?
You remember that letter I got from that firm in Memphis?
Memphis?
That's what I thought until their offer.
It's sealed.
I guessed. I'm a good guesser. Plus a 5% increase in the second year.
Why?
Why? Whose side are you on anyway?
Okay, you should take the job.
Yay! Like most people at new jobs, Mitch arrives at the firm eager to please. He shows up early in the morning and leaves late at night. After the amount of wooing that the firm did to get him to become an associate, Mitch is surprised at how little attention he is paid on his first days at the office. It takes a few weeks for him to come to terms with the fact that he's just an ordinary person and that he is not special at the firm.
Just as the interviewers said at Mitch's job offer, Abby and Mitch soon become a part of the firm's extended family. As the two start to adjust to their new life in Memphis, they start to realize that the firm is not all that it seems. Their suspicions about the firm's true activities are raised when Abby's odd conversation with another lawyer's wife, and Mitch realizes that something bad happened to two lawyers on firm business. Lawyers that, coincidentally, were trying to leave the firm.
Guess what one of the other wives told me? I'm allowed to have a job because the firm promotes it. And they also said that I can have children because it promotes stability.
So, Avery, I kind of heard this thing about Kaczynski and Hodges, and the reporter, she was kind of saying that they were murdered and that it wasn't just an accident, was it?
Oh, Kaczynski and Hodges, the two lawyers that used to work at our firm that were killed, yeah. Well, I mean, the firm called it an accident, you know, but, I mean, if it is, they're the fourth lawyers in 10 years. Because, I mean, a couple years ago, we had, like, two that were killed in a car accident. So take it which way you're on. But just be careful if you ever try to leave the firm.
Upon arriving at Bendini, Lambert, and Locke, Mitch must take the bar exam to become a real lawyer. He faces a lot of pressure since no one at the firm has not passed on the first try.
How's the studying going, Mitch?
Good! It's just a lot of material to take in.
Well, let me help you. Here's a multiple choice question. The difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance is A, whatever the IRS says, B, a smart lawyer, C, 10 years in prison, or D, all of the above. Well, remember, being a tax lawyer isn't about the law. It's a game. You just have to learn how to play it. After passing the bar exam with the second highest score in the state, Mitch is sworn in as a lawyer. In the oath he takes, Mitch swears to protect the interests of his client, no matter what the client does. If a lawyer betrays his client, he is disbarred and can never practice law again. Something that Mitch, after finishing 3 years of law school, would wish to prevent. However, because of his firm's true activities, Mitch's promise is almost immediately put to the test.
I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of an attorney and counselor at law to the best of my knowledge and ability. During a business trip to the Caymans, Mitch cheats on Abby with the woman on the beach. Mitch is torn about the decision to tell Abby and to keep it from her. When he tells Abby about the woman on the beach, she loses her trust in Mitch and no longer values his promises. That leads him to be depressed and reach his abyss.
Hey Mitch, how can I help you?
Okay, so Avery, should I tell Abby about the woman on the beach? I mean, it's eating me up. What should I tell her?
Well, how is it going to help by telling her, though? I mean, it's only going to upset her. You should just let sleeping dogs lie. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal anyways.
I can't stand not telling her. That night when you called at the Caymans?
Oh, why?
On the beach?
Yeah, what did you do? Who was she?
It didn't mean anything. I don't even know her name. I don't know who she is. It was one thing. It didn't matter.
The one night that you were away? How could you do this?
Abby, I promise you.
Your promises mean nothing to me anymore.
Worried about the way things are going with Abby, and suspicious about the comments that he's been hearing at the office, as well as Avery's offhand manner about the dead lawyers, Mitch asks his older brother, Ray, for help.
How are you, Ray?
Pretty fair. It's been a long time, huh? It's okay, I've become a patient man. Don't beat yourself up, kid. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't want to be here either. Have you talked to Ma?
A few months ago.
Still with the same guy?
They're all the same guy.
So you finished law school. That suits a dead giveaway. Did you get a job with Wall Street? You said.
No, I got a job across the river in Memphis.
Memphis?
Hey Ray, wouldn't it be funny if I went to Harvard and you ended up in jail, but we all ended up surrounded by crooks?
Even if you're half right, you're gonna need some help. What does Abby think?
I haven't told her. I guess I don't want it to be real. Nothing's real until I tell it to Abby.
How'd you land the job with a brother in the joint? Oh, I would have done the same thing. Hey, listen, there's a friend of mine I want you to see. An ex-cop in Little Rock.
Anything I can do for you?
Get me out of here.
One of the important people in this movie is the PI, Eddie Lomax. Mitch visits Ray's former cellmate, private investigator Eddie Lomax. Eddie agrees to look into the firm as Mitch is noticing some strange things going on. The firm does not appreciate the questions and sends their hitmen to kill Eddie Lomax. The men do not see Eddie's secretary, Tammy, under the desk, and she escapes and helps Mitch.
Mr. McDear?
Yes.
I practically went to law school with you. Ray talked about you every freaking day for 3 years. I was his cellmate. He must have told you. Did he mention it was statutory rape? She was 17 but looked 24.
Eddie, I'd have some business I'd like to go over with you.
Good. I owed your brother my life. I see some strange things on this job. Things I wouldn't spray paint on a highway overpass. What you got?
So, I think my firm has been killing off lawyers that try to leave. There have been 4 lawyers that have been dead over the past 10 years.
I'll be honest with you, that's not my area of expertise. you better watch out for them. They don't care a damn about you. That being said, the lawyers at your firm seem pretty accident prone. I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Eddie. I'll call you.
You sure are like your brother. Don't you knock?
Where's your secretary?
Out.
She left a cigarette burning.
She does that. Why don't you come back in an hour and make an appointment?
We're here.
I'm busy.
Now, this is going to end badly for you, but it can be relatively painless. Why are you asking the questions about the dead lawyers?
What dead lawyers?
Who hired you to ask the questions?
His name was Julio Iglesias.
Great! Just great! Now who are we going to ask questions?
One of Mitch's greatest challenges is accepting the truth about what his firm really does when his suspicions come to life after a conversation with an FBI agent.
Hi, I appreciate your coming. I'm Agent Wayne Terrence from the FBI.
What happened to Eddie Lomax?
We've been investigating Bendini, Lambert, and Locke for 4 years. No lawyer has ever left your firm alive. 2 have tried to leave and been killed. 2 more were about to leave, and you saw what happened. Now, we have reason to believe that your house is bugged, your phone is tapped, and you're being followed. They may even be here right now.
Are you saying that my life is...
I'm saying that your life as it was is now over. Your firm is a sole legal representative for the mulatto family in Chicago. The mob. The mafia.
I don't believe it.
Maybe 30% of their clients are legitimate. They use dirty money in legitimate accounts. Money from prostitutions, drugs, gambling, and then they bring on a new associate. They throw money at him. They buy him a car, a house, forgive his debt. A couple years pass, his kids are in private schools, he's living the good life. Then they tell him.
So you're saying every partner knows?
Every partner, and we suspect most of the associates.
Get indictments, bust it all up.
We can't, we need someone on the inside. We need to see contracts, bank records, anything that could help us. You don't have to help us, but we're going to break this firm. And when we do, you're going to go down with everyone.
Why can't I just leave?
That's what the other lawyers were trying to do. You need to have time to think this over. Meanwhile, make sure you and your wife pretend that nothing has happened. Continue living like everything is normal. Don't discuss it with anyone, but if you help us, we'll make it worth your while.
Worth my while?
Oh, you can still have a pretty good life.
But you mean the witness protection program? How? I live somebody else's life? I live in a nowhere place and then one day I back up in my driveway and my car blows up?
It doesn't have to be that way.
I don't need much of a life, mister, but I must be mine.
Is that what you have now? You should probably go back to work. They're probably getting suspicious that you're gone so long.
Wait, so let me get this straight. I steal files from the firm and hand them over to the FBI, and then I testify in open court against my colleagues and send them to jail.
They suckered you into it anyways.
So reveal confidential information about my clients and then testify in open court against the mafia?
Well, you can't have everything, Mitch. I know you'll get disbarred, but we all have to pay the price.
Are you out of your freaking mind?
Wait, one more thing to tell you. Eddie Lomax's former cellmate was named Ray McDear. How long do you think it's going to take the firm to figure that out? And how long do you think it's going to take the mafia to connect that to you? Remember, they can get anyone, anywhere, at any time.
So what can you do?
Well, Ray has a parole hearing coming up. If you help us, we'll help him.
Challenge number 4 is continued when Mitch has to tell Abby about the firm killing off lawyers. Mitch realizes that he must tell Abby because it is very wrong and he knows that something is not right with the firm. However, since Mitch does not want Abby to be dragged into a fight between the FBI and the mafia, he takes on the burden of choosing what to do alone. He does care about her deeply, which leads him to be more confused about what to do. But in the end, he does tell Abby. Abby, I have something to tell you.
What?
I think that my firm is killing off lawyers that try to leave.
Why?
I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out.
After his conversation with the FBI, Mitch is a bit lost on what his next move is going to be. Fortunately for him, Tammy, Eddie's secretary and his girlfriend, was under the desk when the PI was shot. To honor his memory, she agrees to help Mitch bring the firm down and proves to be a valuable helper.
How did you see them and they not see you?
I was under the desk. I loved him. They wanted to know who hired him and why he was asking questions about dead lawyers. My landlady said they came looking for me yesterday, so I checked into Motel 6. I couldn't think of what else to do. Eventually they'll tie Eddie to Ray, and that'll lead to you. I don't want that to happen. Eddie wouldn't have liked it.
Maybe you could help me. Mitch and Tammy decide to go along with the FBI and their plan in order to get Ray out of jail. Mitch meets with the FBI agents again, and he demands that his brother be released in return for his help.
Listen, Mitch, I want to remind you how much the Bureau appreciates this.
$1 million in a numbered account in Switzerland. IBG Bank International in Zurich.
Well, you sure as hell turned greedy overnight.
Oh, and my brother out. Now.
He's a convicted felon, Mitch.
Then get yourself another snitch.
He's in for manslaughter.
It was a brawl in a bar. It would have been self-defense if it wasn't for him being in wrestling.
It's still a felony.
Okay, Terrence. You heard me. Now, and get me $1.5 million.
The FBI agent keeps his promise and arranges for Ray to be released from jail. Tammy continues to help Mitch and goes to meet Ray when he is released. Then, she finds him a safe place to stay while the rest of their plan works out.
Because I know all I need is on the other side of the door.
Just as any other hero's journey, Mitch goes through an abyss. Although Mitch and Tammy's plan is on track and everything is going well, Mitch is still not okay and not comfortable with the fact that if he chooses this route, he will be disbarred and he will be violating the oath that he took. He debates on whether or not he should betray his clients, knowing that this decision will affect the rest of his life and the morals that he wants to live by. Mitch has an abyss that is very internal, and he has to cope with a lose-lose situation. But in the end, Mitch will find a way to get out of the lose-lose situation, and he will find a path that allows him to simultaneously help the FBI without sharing his client's secrets. Honey, I just can't figure out what to do. Should I help the FBI and lose any chance of working as a lawyer, or should I just keep my mouth shut? The mafia will take good care of us until we get thrown in jail by the government. Oh my god.
Mitch's revelation is that there's a third way out of his FBI versus mob dilemma. During routine firm business, Mitch meets with a client complaining about overbilling. The client also points out that when the firm puts their bills in the mail, they commit mail fraud, since it breaks the attorney-client confidentiality. Mitch knows from studying for the bar exam that each instance of mail fraud is worth a $10,000 fine and 5 years in prison. Since the firm has many clients and every single associate and partner in the firm has committed this mail fraud, he sees it as a way out to charge his colleagues without getting on the bad side of the mob.
Don't you know your own bills?
I just found my own timesheet, sir, that's it.
You know, this overbilling has been happening for so many years, I thought it was policy.
It's not policy, Mr. Mulholland.
Well, it sure looks like it. It's been going on for years. And you know, when you guys put this in one of these and sent by the mail, it becomes...
It becomes a federal crime.
You're done right, it is a federal crime. Punishable?
A $10,000 fine and 5 to 10 years each. For each instance. Wait a minute, don't copy the files yet.
But I just got them.
I know, but I think that there might be a way to do this without getting disbarred or breaking the law.
Is that our chief concern here?
Well, that depends. Do you want to be controlled by the mob or the FBI for the rest of your life? Mitch's transformation is when he stops trying to please everyone else in his life and he does what he believes is good and allows him to stay true to himself. Instead of picking a side in the fight between the firm and the FBI, Mitch chooses his own side and does not only do what is best for him, but what he believes is right.
If only I could get my hands on this kid. The nerve of him to double-cross us.
There's someone here to see you. He says it's urgent.
Ruth thinks it's urgent, Joey. What do you think?
It's a Mr. McDear here to see you.
Maybe Ruth is right. What do you want?
Gentlemen, Mr. Morolto, I have a big problem. Gentlemen, I need to see your bills. I'm afraid that we, Bendini, Lambert, and Locke, have been overbilling you.
That's what you want to talk to us about? Overbilling?
Yes, it's a big problem.
Who's going to see these?
Gentlemen, I am your lawyer, and anything you share with me is confidential and protected.
If that's all you need, what do you need me to do?
Sign there, and then please give that back to me so that the government can do you justice. Thank you. Have a nice day. The evidence is in the blue folder.
The blue folder? But there's no evidence in here. It's all bills.
Mitch is finally at one with himself when he is able to accept his life, even if it is not perfect. No longer is he searching for a perfect facade of what he thinks he wants. This change of mindset allows Mitch to become closer to the law. As a tax lawyer for the firm, Mitch used to think about the law as something to pervert and find loopholes in so his clients could make more money. Now, since following the law is the only way he will never become disbarred as a lawyer, Mitch views the law as something to live by.
They're my clients.
Yeah, but I don't want to get a bunch of pencil pushers. I want them all.
You guys are the villains behind the times. I mean, if you guys think that if there's not a gun behind someone, then it doesn't even matter. You ask the Moroltos what's harder to find, the killers or their lawyers.
So what am I supposed to get them on? Mail fraud?
I know it's not sexy, but it's got teeth. $10,000 a fine and then 5 years in prison. For every single partner in that folder over there, you've got over 10,000 years. That's more than you had on Capone.
Don't be so high and mighty. I mean, you obviously made a deal with the mob, right? That's why they didn't, kill you?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm still a lawyer, but now the only references I've got, I'm never going to be able to use.
Then why did you do it? I mean, if you didn't make a deal with the mafia, you didn't get anything out of it.
Oh, yes, I did. I want my life back. You don't run me, and they don't run me. And you want to know something funny? I discovered the law again.
Mitch's return is not a physical return to Boston, but rather the return to a happy life with Abby. By making sure to do his best to ensure their safety, Mitch proves to Abby that despite his mistakes, he still loves her.
Mitch has several boons at the end of his hero's journey. The most important boon or gift is the fact that Mitch controls his own life as his own person and is no longer a puppet of the firm, the mafia, the FBI, or anyone else. The second boon Mitch receives is the return of Abby's love and trust. To Mitch, this return of faith validates his journey and acknowledges that he has grown for the better as a person and as a lawyer. Another boon is the release of Ray from prison because it allows the two brothers to return the relationship to the close one that it once was. Although none of these boons or gifts are quite typical, the return of Abby's love and trust especially shows Mitch that he is still worthy of her respect. Did I lose you?
You look tired.
Did I?
I've loved you all my life. And even you. It was just the promise of you. These last days, you've kept your promise. How could you lose me?
We are the kings and queens, our hearts they break, we may fall in between the cracks, living life like it's just a game of blackjack. I don't know how, but we always find our way back. Looking back when I was just a little girl with a big dream, living in a lonely world. It seems life is impossible, so believe that you're unstoppable. Hey, we are